Well, I'm here today because somebody asked me what was my favourite YouTube channels, and there's quite a few. I've picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I regularly watch, and great channels. In the sort of off-grid area, I look at J&L Zero. John's superb, absolutely superb. John will give you the basics of cleaning and killing, growing. He has a wife who has medical issues, so he looks after her, and he's got kids and other family, and he's got a big family too. So that's probably one of my favourite. It's not off-grid. John wouldn't say he's off-grid, but what he would say, he's just doing what he can with what he's got, and that's one of my favourite channels. So Juno Zero, I'll spell it for you. JNULLO. O is zero, actually, zero. So Juno, great channel. One of my most favourite off-grid type channels is The Boss of the Swamp. Spell it as it sounds, The Boss of the Swamp. And his dog Frankie. I love him. Frankie is so funny, and he makes great videos. He's an accomplished videographer, no doubt in my mind at all. But The Boss of the Swamp shows you all the stuff that he makes himself, and he's a very talented carpenter, no question about that. Builds his own cabins, grows his own foods. So that's another one of my favourite, The Boss of the Swamp. And look out for the dog Frankie. Hilarious, and like I say, great cinematography. Another one I do like watching, and there's two actually I'm going to tell you about now that don't have any speaking at all, but like a silent movie, but the actual video speaks for itself. One is Primitive Technology. Hello. Oh, I can see Mystic Angel's got a chat going. I have and can chat on computer. There you go. Hello. But Primitive Technology is an Australian guy. He's probably in his late 20s, maybe early 30s, I don't know. Never speaks, that I've heard on. But he builds things from clay, from the local terrain, bushes, rocks, will make furnaces, builds all sorts of things. It's fascinating because it's showing you his interpretation of what can be done with very little. And he has a massive following now. I remember watching him when he first started. Some of his videos get 10, 15, 20 million views. And he's obviously now, just his latest video, he's brought out, he's bought some land of his own with a creek running through it. He does mention that there's plenty of mosquitoes, and you get that in the tropical north. Fascinating to watch, absolutely fascinating. And I, along with obviously millions of others, enjoy his videos greatly. Another one that I wouldn't say is off-grid, but he's very good at everything he does. He's a young bloke, and his channel is called Go Green PM. And I'll put all the links in the description of this video, links to these channels I'm mentioning. Great young bloke, very talented, can build, can weld, can manufacture, and one of the best channels if you're learning and wanting to do things for yourself. He doesn't have enough subscribers. I have no idea why not, because he's basically very talented and can offer a great deal to people who want to get a better lifestyle, save money. And like I say, I don't think Go Green would actually say he's fully off-grid, but he's certainly making a difference in his life and the quality of it by the things he does for himself. So go watch Go Green PM. Some of the channels I do like watching, if you know me well, I love cooking and I love flavours of foods, and there's one, I'm pretty sure it comes from the Eastern Bloc somewhere. I'm not saying where, it could be Serbia, I'm only guessing, but it looks like a father-son combination, and the channel's name is called Almazan Kitchen, and I will spell that for you. It's ALMAZAN Kitchen. And they go in the forest, snow, summer, winter, and they'll create a kitchen out of nothing, just stones and a few bits and pieces. But I can tell you, from my knowledge of cooking, they are very talented in what they do. I'm pretty sure that one of them is a chef. I'm not sure, but that's what I would guess. And some of the food they produce is superb. So Al Mazan Kitchen, please go watch that. That's a fantastic channel. Another one, a guy and his wife travel around Eastern Asia, all over the place, but it's called The Food Ranger, and he visits all these different places in China and all over the world, not just China, and he will show the local cooking. He gets in there, he eats everything. If you ever watch that guy, I forget his name, but on Bizarre Foods, who will eat anything. Well, this guy on The Food Ranger eats anything and everything, and some of the food is definitely hot. I like hot food, but I can tell you that The Food Ranger has a superb range of areas that he goes to. He goes to Sichuan in China, he goes all over Asia, and he certainly has a channel worth watching. So The Food Ranger. Another one I watch is in India. It looks like a community channel, and it's called Grandpa Kitchen, spelt G-R-A-N-D-P-A, Grandpa Kitchen. And it's an old bloke, he must be 70 at best, and what he does, he wanders around and picks up different types of food. I'm sure some is donated, and cooks masses of food for kids in orphanages. Hello, Clevis. Yes, he really does. Actually, I think some of the times that The Food Ranger is on and he speaks Chinese, the Chinese always say, wow, you speak better than me. Very, very fluent in Chinese. But yeah, so the other one is Grandpa Kitchen. That is fascinating because he makes do with what he's got, and he's got a few helpers, but it's mainly him. And he sits there sometimes with a knife chopping away little bits of tomato and chili, and I'm thinking, someone buy him a food processor. But great channel to watch. So again, I'll just reiterate some of the channels I really do like are The Boss of the Swamp and his dog Frankie. I love him. I love Frankie. He's so funny. And Boss of the Swamp himself, very talented. And if people want to save money, and I don't use the words off-grid, but he certainly has an off-grid style lifestyle, grows his own food, great carpenter, and certainly knows how to grow vegetables. Well worth watching if you want to learn and save some money. And like I say, Journal Zero, John is a superb man. Certainly stand up in his own community, I'm sure. And he's got his uncles and his family. Yeah, the cabin, the boss is just stunning. Do you remember Clevis when he did he made the indoor fridge freezer? Do you remember that? In the other cabin. And it was basically just a box exposed to the outside. And I like the bit where you could have a cold beer anytime you liked. But like I say, some of these channels have some great information that you don't have to really copy, but you can follow some of the guidelines, particularly The Boss of the Swamp and Juno Zero. I think John is a superb man and certainly looks after his family and his community. And his channel is growing exponentially. It really is. John's channel, Juno Zero, is growing and growing and growing. I think he gets thousands of views per video now. Yeah, he did make it look easy making that fridge, and the concept is easy, but his carpentry skills put mine to shame. He would be a furniture maker. That's how good he is, and I'm sure he may or may not do that in the future. So just going over them, my food channels, Al Mazan Kitchen, I'm pretty sure they're in Serbia. I think it's father and son. The Food Ranger, him and his wife go all over China and Eastern Asia. And the other channel that doesn't speak at all like Al Mazan Kitchen is Primitive Technology. That's an Australian guy in Queensland in the tropics, and he's just bought some land for himself, but he's fighting a battle with the mosquitoes. I think you'll see him in the future all covered in mud. That stops the mosquitoes. And the other one was Grandpa Kitchen, which is, I think it's a fundraising type channel. They're now getting thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views on their channel. So there's some of the YouTube channels I like. These are probably the main ones I watch. There's a lot of nonsense channels, particularly in the RV world and the off-grid world. They're just, some of them are just pathetic, to be honest with you. I'm not having to go at anyone in particular, but it's all pretend, and basically they got their hand out. I don't know why anyone just can't get a bit of work. And a great example would be the Boss of the Swamp. He works. He has numerous streams of income. There's a few videos on his channel he was asked many times, how do you make money? Well, YouTube's an income stream for him, but he also makes bits and pieces and goes to markets and all sorts of things to accommodate income streams coming in. He lives very comfortably, and he's, like I say, probably out of the two, I would say that my favourite of all YouTube channels is Boss of the Swamp. I think Primitive Technology would be coming in a close second, and the rest you could just put into a pile that I really like. Hello, Marie. Primitive Technology for me gives people an opportunity to see what can be done with nothing. He actually just makes rocks into axes, and he just creates things. He's just a creator, and people are fascinated at the actual methodology of building, from using palm fronds, clay. He makes furnaces. His channel is probably going to be up there with the top channels of all YouTube channels, and I'm not surprised, and I'd like your feedback, but I do think that, and my wife said it recently, that some channel may try and entice him, like Discovery or one of those American production companies might want to pick him up. I think he might be reluctant to do it, because I think he's making, g'day, keeping it cool, I think Primitive Technology is probably making enough income on his own. I mean, how much do you pay someone like that to produce shows for? And I don't know if he would like someone else controlling the content. Primitive Technology doesn't make videos every day, but when he makes videos, they're really good quality. So that's probably all I've got to say today, and if anyone is watching live, well, g'day, good to see you. But I thought I'd just put my video up regarding what I think are some of the best YouTube channels to watch from my view. And like I say, there's a lot of rubbish channels. My channel's probably a rubbish channel, I don't know. But a lot of the channels that I do watch consistently are the ones I've mentioned. I'll put a link in the description to them, and if you want to even just go and have a sticky beak at them and see what you think. But I'd certainly recommend to go and watch JNL Zero, certainly recommend The Boss of the Swamp, and definitely Primitive Technology. So that's about all I've got to say. If you've got any questions, I see there's a couple of people in here. If you've got any questions, I'll answer them before I disappear and get another cuppa. He waits with a bated breath that people go, I don't want to ask him a question. No? No questions? Got to be one question. No? Oh, I've just been advised by my wife there's a bit of a lag. So I might be asking questions that you're just getting now. Anyway, the important thing today was to let you know what I like watching on YouTube, and they are superb channels as far as I'm concerned. Like I say, at the end of this video, I'll put a link in the description of all of them, the ones I've mentioned, and go and have a look. I think some of you have already watched them, so until next time, see you later.